Okay. I will call to order the Board of Commissioners of Nether Providence Township meeting for November 21st, 2024. We'll start with roll call.
Warren Fayez, Township Manager.
Megan Burns, Township Solicitor.
Max Cooper, Ward 1 Commissioner.
Matt Garson, Ward 2.
Kate McKenzie, 4th Ward.
Beth Henry, Ward 3.
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Robert O'Connor here from the 6th Ward.
And we're missing our 5th and 7th Ward Commissioners tonight. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, our executive session will be held after the meeting tonight. First, we have public comment. We do have someone in the audience, but I believe, is this otherwise on the agenda?
No.
No, okay, so come on up. Sure. Mhm.
Steve Edwards, I'm with the South Community Fire Department. I'm in charge of fire police in the township. We have a event coming up on November 28th at 8:30 in the morning. It's the Turkey Trot 5K. Fire police was pretty much laid back for a long time, but come, I believe it was either July or August, everything's starting to straighten up and everything as far as insurance goes. With that being said, any event held in the township, we need a letter for assistance from the township itself, whether the township's involved in it or not.
So wait, I am not familiar with that term. So is fire police just the fire department, or is that something different?
Fire police actually falls underneath the fire department and the police department. I have papers for you.
Okay, so like certain firefighters are also called fire police?
No.
No.
That's true. Fire police are firefighters that are sworn in with the township to strictly do, my apologies, to strictly do fire police duties, which falls underneath of the police realm as well. We hold special police powers in the township. We mainly fall underneath of the police department during any incident. We have to be sworn in by the township to do the job. We are the only ones in the fire company that need to be sworn in through the township to do the job. And if you look at the last thing I gave you, it's the Health and Welfare, Chapter 74. If you look on the second page, this gives you everything about fire police. This is the fire police law in the state of Pennsylvania. If you look on the second page, you see a section highlighted underneath 7435, section powers. Referring to fire police, they shall also have the police powers necessary to perform their duties when functioning as special fire police at any function, event, or parade conducted and under the auspices of a volunteer fire company or another event, function, or parade conducted by an organization other than volunteer fire company, provided that the request to perform these duties is made by the governing body of the city, borough, town, township, or home rule municipality in which the event will be conducted. The section that's also highlighted there that says, or when accidents, floods, or other emergencies require performance of traffic control. Of course, we don't need written permission for emergencies. That section covers like your natural disaster emergencies where we're going to be there for a long period of time. So with that, I have also given you two letters. The one on top is basically how I would write a letter for assistance if it were being made. And the one attached is the format that I go off of, that I have saved on my computer.
Okay.
The other one you have is the annual turkey trot assignments that I do every year. The second page is a page you don't normally see. That's for basically accountability purposes. With that being said, I have also, if anybody wants it, I have the entire chapter 74 covering volunteer firefighters. It's preliminary provisions, relief, employment sanctions, and fire plans, all in one.
So can I just
Sure.
give you what I'm understanding here and you tell me if this is accurate? So the turkey trot takes place in town. We need a combination of police officers and fire department personnel to be stationed at certain places.
Yes.
Your insurance is telling you when you are taking on that role, you are acting as a fire police.
Yes.
And you have always sort of been doing this, but not officially sworn in. And the insurance company is requesting that you be sworn in to be covered under the insurance policy to perform that task. No.
We are already sworn in.
Okay.
Fire police cannot go out on the street unless they have.
When were you sworn in? I don't recall any of
I've
that.
been sworn in now for almost 10 years.
You swore in as a fire?
Somebody.
Usually it's a one and done thing as far as
Okay.
fire police goes. Once you're sworn in through the township.
So-
People are sworn in.
Yeah.
Right now, the only thing we have is, we only have 3 fire police in the township. We are all sworn in through the township. What we need, due to the insurance, is if we bring in fire police from outside, we're already covered by the township insurance. If we bring in fire police from outside to assist, they would need one of these letters stating that, there's assistance being requested. This way, they can take it to their township, so that if anything happens to them, they're covered by insurance through their township. It's just like a fire. If we go out on somebody else's call and we get hurt, we're covered by our township's insurance.
So who are our fire police now? The 3
Fire
people?
police right now is myself, Wayne Ledoux, Linda Lawson, and we have one fire police that she's been out because of illness.
Okay. And so does Garden City have some, or you're not aware of that? They have
Garden
none.
City does not have fire.
So they don't help with the parade?
Normally, if they help, they're helping with a truck. With the turkey trot, Garden City usually opens their building up. This way people can use restrooms or stuff like that. But that's pretty much what they use.
All right, and so the ask to us is that in case you need fire police from another municipality, you need this letter to show them that they are officially being requested?
Yes.
No problem. Work with Maureen.
All right, well, it
To
sounds
me-
like, is that something, Maureen, you're able to do? Or do we need to vote on that?
I think you could probably pass a resolution today. I can take a look at the code right now and see if we can do an oral resolution to pass that. If
Can
not,
we grant our manager the ability to issue these letters when fire police are requested?
yes.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Okay, well, then I would make a motion to authorize Nether Providence Township Manager Maureen Fayez to issue letters requesting the assistance of fire police for events being held in the township where appropriate. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. And thank you for your assistance on Thanksgiving and all of the days.
Thank you.
We've had a great relationship as far as the township and fire police. It's just now they're starting to enforce the insurance issue, which they usually never had issues with before. Now they're starting to push it. So I'd rather come, let you guys know what's going on and clarify everything. And if you guys had any questions or anything, I could be here to answer them. I really appreciate everything, and hopefully we continue the great relationship we have between the township, fire police, and the police department.
Thank you. We
Agreed.
appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
All right, so we have, moving on to committee openings, we have openings on the Park, Shade Tree, and Planning Commission. I think I mentioned this briefly last time. Let's make sure we're routinely sending these out to our wards to be filling that. Maybe not, now is not the best time, but maybe after the holidays, start trying to hit some people up and get some more involvement there. We have the minutes in our packet. Commissioner Garson, were you able to look at the meeting minutes of the one I wasn't there?
Is this for 24 or 14?
Okay, I think,
I have not.
all right, I think Matt was not at the last meeting and we pushed those minutes and unfortunately, I think we're probably going to push them again just so we can really scrub them because I wasn't there. Is there an issue with, I mean, they're not that delayed. There's no issue with pushing the October 24th minutes, one more meeting, right? Is there any requirement to pass them? Okay.
And also all the meetings are online on YouTube.
Yeah.
If somebody really wants an exciting.
Yeah, we just want to make sure, we have sort of a new process for those.
Yep.
So we are going to skip that for now. Is there anything in the solicitor's report that's not otherwise on the agenda?
No.
Thanks. Anything in the engineer's report not otherwise on the agenda? Okay. Presentation was last time. On to the government relations report with Commissioner Cooper.
Thank you, President McKenzie. Just 3 items of notice today. First item, PICO work at Waterville Road. Just a reminder that PICO will be along Waterville Road doing some tree trimming work over the next few weeks, and they'll be preparing for future work in December, which will include telephone pole replacements. Next item of notice, PICO work on North Providence Road. PICO project on North Providence Road from Locust Circle to Laurel Street has been postponed, and PICO will re-notify residents when they're coming back. PICO is anticipating it closer to the end of the year. And the last item is a public notice for community development. So the Nether Providence Board of Commissioners is going to hold a public input hearing on Thursday, December 12th, 2024 at 7:30 p.m. to receive public input on proposals for the fiscal year 2025 community development block grant applications. This meeting will be held at this location, 214 Sykes Lane, Wallingford, PA. All who wish may participate and be heard. Statements for public comment may also be submitted by U.S. mail to 214 Sykes Lane or directed to our township manager, Maureen Fayas at mfayas@netherprovidence.org. If you have any questions, you can also call the township manager at 610-566-4519. And for those listening, the Community Development Block Grant, or the CDBG, as we call it, has been used to resurface, we think, almost the entirety of the Manor section of roads, as well as significant park improvements in that region. So I imagine the conversation will be focused on those topics. And that's everything in my report.
Thank you. We actually do not have anything new to discuss under the Parks and Open Space Committee report or Public Safety, since we did just meet last week. We are moving on to Finance Administration. First, we will do the bills list. All right, under our AP bills, this is several of our routine charges. We have our fourth quarter sewer disposal fee for CDCA, our healthcare expenses, premiums for October, and some for November. Our October go-to, that's our technology company charge. There's the Lynn Architects on, I actually don't even see it. Oh, it's page 2. So that's one line item just for UNO inspections for October, and those are reimbursed through charges to the specific properties that are inspected. Premier Concrete, that is on page 3. A charge for the concrete for Providence Road that is covered within our budgeted grant expenses. And then the last item of note is on the last page to the Wallingford Swarthmore School District, and that is for gasoline and diesel for our municipal vehicles. Next is the interim bills list. A to U Services is for concrete for Martha Burton Park. What was that? The pathway around from the A to U, the pathway to the playground?
Correct.
And AF Damon, that's the 2024 road program, phase 2. Our recycling charge for October, and that also includes the charge for our bulk trash event that took place in October. We have our final payment to CMSE for the Public Works Garage renovation. It's looking pretty good over there. I think the paving of the driveway really made a big difference. So, and I understand the inside's coming along, getting it organized as well. And the next charge is Elite Sports. That's for the 4th payment for our turf field. Did we put up the fence or the netting over there yet? Okay, I think that's probably the last one of the last things to come. I think we have electric to the shed that was just put in. And Chief, how are the cameras coming?
Will was working with 2 issues where they needed a key to get into the box on the top of the light pole that Higgins installed. Higgins has that key, and he also needs to borrow Higgins' bucket truck. Be up to the light. He's working with Higgins to arrange both of those things.
Okay, he's kind of taking forever. Does he know this?
Agreed.
Okay. General sewer charge on the bottom of page 3. That's sewer line inspections, the dye test. I believe we mentioned that at our last meeting. KML transport. That's for the upfit of, I guess, our most recent purchase of a police car. Was that the one that replaced the one that was totaled? Okay, and so that one's all set now. Another charge for Premier contract, this would be the interim bills. So bills that needed to get paid before our next meeting to approve them. Also related to the concrete for Providence Road, which comes from grant funding. And then the last item of note is recreation resources for dugout supplies and the field netting. The field netting we just discussed at Gooley has not been received yet or just not installed?
Just not installed yet.
Okay. Hopefully soon will be installed. And then the dugout supplies, which are going to go in before baseball season at Hepford and Bullens.
I've been in communication with baseball. We're going to play it by year.
Okay.
It depends on some concrete work being done. So we've been in communication and we'll determine whether it's going to be done before or after.
Okay.
But that, we still need some time on that.
Okay, that sounds good. So, and then finally on the AP bills list, we have Alan Meyer, the bottom of page 1, charges for asphalt for the Smedley Leaper Trail. I don't know why it's broken out to a million different charges. That's kind of funny. Is that like per bucket? Do we pay per bucket of asphalt, Charles?
It's per truckload.
Per truckload of asphalt. Okay. And then we have our BFI Republic Municipal Recycling Charge for August, our kennel service charge for August. Are we making any headway on figuring out what to do with that? Yes? All right.
We're looking at other options. Working with Katie the other
Yeah.
day. There's 2 other options we're looking at.
Okay.
We need to get rid of the option
Yeah.
that we're using.
Yes, we have a very expensive option, which was sort of, we were thrown into with really no notice, but we need to figure that out. So that's good news. Galantino, another one with a lot of line items, I guess, per truckload of stone for Martha Burton and the Smedley Leaper Trail. Highway materials, also asphalt, looks like another truckload pricing. And finally, on page 9, a charge from Uline for Public Works Garage furniture and trash cans and the such. So it's really coming along over there, and we look forward to checking out the final product very soon. So I will make a motion to approve the bills list in the amount of $914,192 $169.65. The interim bills list in the amount of $859,107.43, and the AP card total in the amount of $62,471.44. Can I get a second? Any comments or questions? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. And tonight, we are going to do the first reading of the budget. Our meetings got a little messed up with Thanksgiving, but it will be great to do the first reading tonight as we're still sort of finalizing a couple numbers so that we don't back ourselves up to the holidays in December. So the way the first reading goes is that we read off the expenses in the various categories with the understanding that once you do the first reading, no category can be increased by 10%. And so while we're still fine tuning some items, we feel confident that we will not change any of the categories by more than that amount. Just so the other commissioners know, we should take a look at the budget, and hopefully, Katie, can you maybe circulate that to everyone this week or early next week or something? But let's look at some of the discretionary line items. I think based on our last meeting, our roundtable meeting that we did, we have, filled in the NPAA library and fire company items that I believe were agreed upon, but let's all double check that. The other thing that can cause some of these categories to really change, or really one category, is the grant funds. And so we're going to hear more about that from our engineer in a minute. But I understand that there was a lot of work that was put into that, and we're feeling good about that number. So let's all take a look at that. I think we're in a good place to do the first reading tonight, but I think once we have our next meeting in December, we should have all of our finalized numbers, like all of our inputs for sure. And then let's re-dig in on all of the line items and make sure we're all comfortable, understanding that they can't change significantly, but they can change a bit. And so I will, so this does not have an ordinance number yet. So how do I introduce it? Just, I'm officially doing the first reading of the budget. I can't remember from last year.
Oh, you can just introduce it, or?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I will be doing first reading of the budget for Nether Providence Township for 2025. I will be reading each expense category in our general funds budget. First is the general government with expenses of $1,077,384.82. Next is the public safety category with an expense amount of $4,161,000. Sorry, I'm going to start that one again. $4,161,618.58. Codes and inspections in the amount of $304,891.12. Recycling and waste in the amount of $510,813.92. Public Works and Highway in the amount of $1,701,645.07. Parks and Recreation in the amount of $278,383.50. Debt service in the amount of $420,392. Insurance in the amount of $455,157. And grants and miscellaneous in the amount of $168,000. This is for a total expenditures of $9,078,268.65, which would represent a tax of 3.5933 mils on each $1,000 of assessed value. So that concludes the first reading of the budget for 2025, and we can move on to Community Health and Environment with Commissioner Barnes, who is not here. So I will take that in her absence, and the only item of note, there's two items of note. The first is curbside leaf collection. As we noted at the last meeting, the Public Works Department was a little bit behind, and that's because it was so dry that the leaves were kicking off a lot of dust, which was clogging filters, which had to be unclogged. What I understand was sometimes several times a day. And so we apologize. Now with this rain, hopefully we're a little bit more back on track. And so for the week of December 2nd, wards 1, 5, 6, and 7 are going to be covered. And the week of December 9th will be the final pass through of all wards. Please have all your residents leave their leaves out by Monday of that week to be sure that we can get them. The next item is even though we just had a little bit of rain, it's still considered extremely dry weather. So our fire marshal is just reminding everyone that there is a no open burning ban. Well, there is a ban, and you are not allowed to openly burn. That is still in effect until further notice. On to Infrastructure and Public Works Committee report with Commissioner O'Connor.
Good evening, and thank you, Madam President. One item on the agenda this evening. We discussed this item at previous meetings, including our most recent one. It's the Henry Lane bid opening results. And we have some paperwork that we can look at on that. And I guess, Charles, if you can, are you able to provide us with an update, please? Thank you.
So where we received an H2OPA grant for drainage improvements on Henry Lane. That grant is set up so it's a 2-to-1 match. So for every dollar that the state gives you, we have to spend 50 cents to match it. You know that we set aside $157,000 in ARPA for this project, which means the grant will reimburse us roughly $314,000, which gives us a total project of $471,000 to spend. We were able to work with the low bidder to reduce the scope of the project. It basically cover maybe like 75 to 80% of the work will be done on Henry Lane. Their price would be $435,984. You can then add basically engineering costs and advertising legal costs to be added to that, so there's like the 471 without exceeding the available funds that we have. So we're going to recommend award to NAP Contractors Inc. in the amount of $435,984, subject to the execution of a change order by NAP to reduce the original scope of work.
I really appreciate you doing the quick work on this. It's really helpful for just our budget in general and for the ARPA fund allocation. And it sounds like this is still going to provide some relief for the area, although it's not going to be, sort of what we had hoped. It's at least going to provide some significant relief, which is really great.
And then we'll continue to look for
Yep.
additional funding for phase two.
Mhm.
Phase two.
Yep. All right, thank you. So it sounds like we need a motion.
Yes.
Okay.
Charles,
You're-
just,
You're ready?
yeah, Charles, can you just tell me real quick? I just missed at the end about the change order.
Contingent, I think, on a change order.
A motion to
Contingent upon the change.
contract to NAP Contractors for $435,984.
Got that.
Subject to the execution of the change order to reduce the scope.
I gotcha. Thank you. So with that said, I would make, unless there's any further discussion, I would make a motion that we accept the bid from N. Abenizio Contractors, Inc. in the sum of $435,984, subject to the change order. I have a lot of scribble here. Subject to the change order to modify the contract to reduce the bid amount. Does that work? To reduce the scope. Thank you so much.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Any questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor, please vote by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? And looks like the motion carries unanimously 5-0. And Madam President, that would conclude my report. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And the last item is Building and Zoning Committee report with Commissioner Carbone, who is also not here. It's just a brief update. There is a proposed lot line revision at 338 Plush Mill Road, and the planning commission will meet on December 2nd at 7:30 at the Township Building to hear the application. Maureen, this is just my lack of understanding. What is a lot line revision?
So right over that way, Pendle Hill owns a couple properties that are adjacent to each other. So they are taking part of the land from one property and giving it to the property next door.
Okay, and would you do that because you're about to build and don't want to deal with the boundaries or something like that?
Some people do it because they need more room to build. Some people do it because they want more land, but they might want to sell off another piece of land, but they want to try to keep as much as they can with still being compliant with our zoning code.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. And so with that, we are on to the manager's report.
So my first item I have here, just a reminder, Nether Providence Township is working with the Garden City Fire Company, and we're hosting a blood drive on Thursday, December 26th from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. To sign up, you can visit redcrossblood.org and enter Nether Providence Township to schedule an appointment. The next item I have here is the Nether Providence Police Department is teaming up with the Delco Cruisers for an annual toy drive. The police department will be accepting donations until December 7th, 2024. They're asking for new unwrapped toys, no stuffed animals, please. And they can all be dropped off at the police department. The last item I have here is from the last meeting, we were discussing the Leaper Trail Extension Study. And we are going to be circulating a link soon. We'll put it on our social media, our website, as well as passing out to commissioners. There'll be a link for residents to give us their opinions. We're looking to see community input on trails, how we use the trails, what people like, don't like. So that link will be passed around shortly for the community to have their input on the project.
All right.
And that's all.
Thank you. And we are adjourned until our next meeting, which is a legislative meeting on December 5th. Do we have anything?